Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video from Learning to Learn. In this video we're going to be looking at some SPaG, which is spelling, punctuation and grammar, and we're going to be focusing on the different types of word classes. The first type of word class that we're going to look at is a noun. And a noun is a naming word, and it can be categorised into 4 different types. We've got common noun, proper noun, collective noun and abstract noun. The first type of noun that we have is what's called a common noun, and it's used to name something that is general and non-specific. So for example, it could be anything from table, chair, house, wall, pencil, book, anything that is not specific. The next type of noun that we have is what's called a proper noun, and it is used for specific things rather than general. They are used for the names of people, places or things, and they need to have a capital letter. So for example, Mrs. Fordyce, London, or any brand name such as Apple, Netflix, McDonald's, they all need capital letters and they are proper nouns. The next type of noun that we have is a collective noun, and it's used for groups of things. So for example, a flock of sheep, a herd of cows or a murder of crows. It's really important to note that in the example of flock of sheep, flock is a collective noun whereas sheep is still a common noun. The last main type of noun that we have is what's called an abstract noun, and it is the hardest to identify out of all of those. So an abstract noun is used for a concept, an idea or a feeling. So for example, anger, happiness, friendship, things that you cannot physically see but are still the name of something. The next word class that we've got is a pronoun, and a pronoun is a word that's used to replace a noun. We use it when we don't want to repeat nouns too much in sentences, and examples of some pronouns are I, we, he, she or they. For example, I might say John walked to the shop. In the next sentence I'm not going to say John bought some sweets, I would replace that with the word he. So John went to the shop, he bought some sweets. We've also got some different types of pronouns. So we've got relative pronouns, which are used in relative clauses. They're called relative pronouns because they relate back to something or someone else. So we've got who, that, which, where. Then we've got what's called a possessive pronoun, and it's used to show ownership of something. So mine, yours, his, hers, and so on. The next word class that we've got is a verb. And a verb is a being or a doing word. It's used to describe actions. So for example, walk, am, laugh, think, was, is. Then we've got what's called an adverb. An adverb describes a verb. So it tells you, the verb tells you what you're doing or being, the adverb tells you how you are doing or being something. So for example, carefully, fast, slowly, and so on. Where an adverb describes a verb, an adjective describes a noun. So for example, quick, huge, extraordinary. You can see an example sentence here, and I've colour coded it to help you. The sly copper fox sneakily stalked the minute grey rabbit. The next word class that is new to children in Key Stage 2 is what's called a determiner, and it determines the noun that follows it. We like to call determiners the little word before a noun, and there are 6 categories of determiners. We've got articles, possessives, demonstratives, numerals, ordinals, and quantifiers, and you can see some examples of each. Next up, we've got prepositions, which are used to describe where things are in relation to time or space. So under, opposite, beside, behind, above, next to. The next type of word class that we're going to look at, which is also the last, is a conjunction, which is a joining word, and there are 2 types of conjunctions. First of all, we've got coordinating conjunctions. They join 2 parts of a sentence that are equally important. We like to use the acronym FANBOYS to help us remember all of the coordinating conjunctions. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So where coordinating conjunctions are used for two clauses that have equal importance, a subordinating conjunction is used when we've got a subordinate clause, which basically means that it does not make sense on its own. And for this one, we use the acronym I saw a wabub. I saw a wabub stands for if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. And that's all of the word classes that we're going to look at today. At times, word class can be really hard to identify in a given sentence because the word class of a word is completely determined by the context of that sentence. So for example, on the screen we've got 3 sentences that each contain the word express. However, the word express is being used differently in each sentence. In the first sentence, we've got the word express being used as a proper noun, i.e. the polar express, and what that means is that it's the name of a specific thing. In the second sentence, it's being used as an adjective because it's describing the noun of the word train. I boarded the express train to Carlisle. In the last sentence then, it's being used as a verb, so a doing or a being word. I would like to express my thanks. This really shows us the importance of looking closely at the context of a sentence, because word class will change depending on that context. The last thing that we're going to do is look at a sentence to see if you can identify the word class of each word in this sentence. The tall troll ducked carefully under the bridge. Feel free to pause the video and have a go at identifying the word class of each of these words, and when you're ready, hit play and the answers will be waiting for you. So here you have it. The is a determiner because it's the little word before a noun. Tall is an adjective because it's describing the common noun of troll. Ducked is a verb and carefully is describing how the troll ducked, so it's an adverb. Under is a preposition. The again is a determiner, and then the bridge is a common noun. I think it's really important at this point to note that the first the in this sentence is still a determiner, even though in between it and the common noun of troll you've got the word tall. Because tall is attached to the noun, it's describing the noun, the is still the word that's coming before that noun phrase, so it's still a determiner. Thank you for watching our video on word classes, and we'll see you in the next one.